Tommy Boyce and I were contract writers for Screen Gems Columbia Music, and so they would send us over for various television and motion picture projects from time to time. In this particular case, they sent us over to meet Bert Schneider and Bob Rafelson, who had a production company on the Columbia lot, and they had an idea to do a new television series that would be like the American Beatles on television. And when we heard the concept, we were pretty excited about it, and we convinced them we were their guys to do the music not only for the show, but for the records. Remembering the combination of television and records with Ricky Nelson, we knew how explosive it could be. So for the pilot show, they needed 3 songs, and one of them, of course, was the theme song. And Tommy and I got up one morning and said, well, we better knock this thing out. They need it in a couple of weeks. So we, as we were wont to do from time to time, walk down to a small park near the house that we shared at the time. And Tommy had his guitar, and we were just walking along and snapping our fingers to our walking beat. And by the time we got there, we had most of it written. It was just, Tommy snapped his fingers, and I added the opener and the closed hi-hat. And it was basically, it was based on a Dave Clark 5 record called Catch Us If You Can, as far as the part. And it just kind of wrote itself, the theme from the Monkees. Nobody told us, nobody suggested a feel other than that the only guidance was this is American Beatles on television. The first question was, have you seen Help and Hard Day's Night? And of course we said yes. So that's what they wanted to do, visually and sound-wise. Of course, they didn't want to rip off, but it was the early stuff, early Monkee stuff that Tommy and I produced and wrote was, we tried to work in a little Beatle influence. And as I said, this was more Dave Clark 5 than Beatles, but the same genre. Well, there was no time actually to get the Monkees' voices on our tracks. In the beginning, when they were shooting the pilot, and so they actually shot the pilot with the Monkees lip syncing to Tommy and me doing the singing. But once it was sold, they wanted to put the boys on there doing the leads, and so we set up a session, and all 4 guys showed up right on time, and we introduced ourselves in this small studio, and we climbed around with the guys for a bit as they were full of energy, as you can imagine. They were just getting to know each other. They had just basically met and done the pilot. And so finally, we said, okay, we're going to go in the booth, and you have the lyrics and you rehearsed this, so let's try it. So we pushed the talk back, take 1, Monkees Theme, take 1. And we didn't hear any singing. When the track came up to the place where they were supposed to come in, nobody came in. So we looked out, and they were just clowning around and fooling around and not really interested in singing much. Now, this happened 2 or 3 times. The third time we looked out, there was a dog pile on the floor out there. They were just all 4 in a wrestling extravaganza on the floor of the studio. And by now, we were 20, 30 minutes into the session, and we just we dismissed the session. And Tommy and I made a vow that day that we would never again bring in more than 1 Monkee into the studio at a time. Well, the theme has actually been great for us over the years because even though it was never a single for the Monkees, when we were trying to pick a first single, I thought I was pushing for the theme song because it was just a no-brainer to me. People would hear it on the TV, it would stick in their mind, and maybe go out and buy it. But Donnie Kirshner, who was really in charge, he was our boss at Screen Gems, he picked Last Train to Clarksville, which is fine. It was another song we'd written. But Monkees never came out as a single in this country. It was a single and a #1 record in a number of other countries, including Mexico. But over the years, it's been one of the most resilient of all the Monkee songs that we wrote, and we did, 30-some of them, I guess. Because of it gets used in motion pictures a lot to denote time frame and period, and it gets used. It's been in a lot of commercials, including Pizza Hut and some beers and some all kinds of commercials. It just keeps popping up, so it's been really good for us over the years.
I think Tommy and Bobby, from they both have different perspectives of how they wrote and created their songs. So, you know, Tommy always had a way of embellishing and would act them all out. So they wrote a lot of their songs kind of on the go, like going to the beach, walking down the street. And I think it was them walking down the street, and they were kind of getting into this rhythm. And Hey, Hey, Where the Monkees came out, but that's also how the monkey walk came about to be. I think the funniest story is actually, again, another when Tommy and I were dating story. He was crossing the border, and of course they asked, what's the most expensive thing you're bringing into the country? And he goes, oh, Cinderella and Prince Charming cups. And they thought he was being a real smart ass, and brought him in. Well, one of the immigration, I really messed that one up.
All right.
Okay. One of the immigration officers, she recognized him and immediately turned into a 13-year-old fan and came around and was singing Hey, Hey, We're the Monkees. So she and Tommy are arm in arm going across the whole immigration office singing Hey, Hey, We're the Monkees and doing the monkey walk. And I thought, wow, is that one way to get out of like a border conflict of bringing something into the country? So I thought that was really cute. Kind of romantic, too. I think one of the things that has been most rewarding for me is being able to have this legacy to continue. You know, just watching the history of it. You know, like, for example, like, Hey, Hey, We're the Monkees. You know, and watching my kids watch it on MTV. And this whole resurgence of monkey fans. And with the internet now, you know, we have the official Boyce and Hart page that I pretty well take care of, and it's been just so great being in touch with fans and realizing the dimension of our demographic and how many fans of the Monkees there are out there. And it's just really cool to be able to do that. And now we're going into the 40th anniversary. So I'm hoping that, you know, to bring this music to even yet another generation through some activities surrounding that, and, you know, through the internet and all these new bands that I just am so surprised that the Monkees were such an influence on them.